Pink Tape is the much hyped third full-length record from Lil Uzi Vert, and when I say full length I mean full, because this thing sits at almost an hour and a half before you start looking at deluxe editions and bonus tracks and all of that. Much of the hype surrounding this record has actually been driven by Uzi integrating and experimenting with metal elements, a genre that has long been part of his aesthetic but hasn't fully manifested itself explicitly in the music on an album up until now. While this genre fusion of trap, emo, rap and metal is definitely prominent on Pink Tape, because of the album's length, this style actually only represents maybe a third of what is present here. Another large portion of the record has a similarly aggressive sound, but one that is more akin to the so-called rage rap of Playboi Carti, while the remaining tracks have a mix of a more straight up SoundCloud rap and trap sound, kind of harkening back to Uzi's early days. This clear division of styles actually makes it easier for someone like me to sift through the stuff I like and gravitate towards. And I think naturally my review is probably going to reflect this, because for me, just being fully transparent, I've never really been into the earnestness of the emo SoundCloud rap stuff. So songs like All Alone and Days Come and Go, a track I'm sure a major portion of the fan base will love, just don't really do anything for me. In fact, that last track I just cannot listen to without conjuring up an image of some 90s music video with a landscape of a cliff overlooking a beach, and you've got Lil Uzi's head like massive, kind of shaking his head, closing his eyes, maybe a tear down one cheek, you know, looking off into the distance. It just sounds like something out of a terrible Backstreet Boys video. But, you know, with that omission aside, I was a huge fan of Carti's Whole Lot of Red, and there are definitely a bunch of songs here in that vein, and I'm really into it. Tracks like X2 and Spin Again represent that collision of these big, wavy, euphoric synths and moody trap beats that I do really enjoy. But sadly, sometimes it just feels like these moments are wasted because Uzi has nothing to actually say. And Just Wanna Rock being the biggest offenders of that. They have all the foundations are set for a banger here, but they just kind of squander them. The latter is just like a really long intro plonked in the middle of the record. The rock and metal interpolations I think are actually really fun. We have the riff integration of Suicide Doors, and actually the joy of that track is the riff is kind of shit, to be honest, but for some reason it just effectively sucks you in and it's kind of a vibe. And I actually really enjoy the Bring Me the Horizon collaboration. I'm not a fan of that band, and not because I don't like them, just I don't know them. I've never listened to them for some reason, but they deliver a fun track here, even if it feels more like a feature for Uzi than a full collaboration. The end with Baby Metal is fantastic. Again, don't know that band, but this track is super fun. And I don't even know where this track belongs, if it's in the metal section or not, but Nakamura is just insanely good, whatever it is. My least favourite song here is CS, the System of a Down cover. Don't get me wrong, it's a banger track, and I think it's awesome Uzi is bringing System to their audience, but there's just nothing added here. And I think this serves as an interesting point, because while there's lots of experimentation with metal here, I do feel like sometimes the album fails to take any actual lessons from the genre. Case in point, Fire Alarm. That song could be huge. It gets you so pumped in the lead up to it. The synths are super weird, but it just builds all of this tension and does nothing to release it. And it would have been the perfect opportunity to introduce a riff, switch up the rhythm, fuck it, add a beat down, I don't know. Anything that we might typically see from the genre that is paid tribute to so heavily here could have worked, and those components don't even have to be like guitars or drums. They could have just taken cues for the arrangements to level up that track. I think this album's cool. It's doing so much. It's pushing a wide audience into some interesting and challenging places, but ultimately it does suffer from its length and trying to do too much, but at the same time not necessarily going far enough. I would put this at a 6 out of 10.